All right, so today we're jumping into this really dark, really intricate world. We're breaking down a story all about identity, power, and this incredibly deep connection that's forged in a society that just refuses to listen. It's about a prince who doesn't speak and a slave who's reborn with a brand new face, and how the two of them, together, challenge an entire system that's built on blood and silence.
And really, this is the question that just pounds at the heart of the whole story. In a world where you're either a product to be sold or a threat to be removed, getting noticed isn't a good thing. It's a transaction. And for our main character, answering this is going to cost him literally everything, right before it gives him a kind of power he never ever could have imagined.
So let's set the scene. We start at a place called the Crimson Bar, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a place where life is a commodity sold one vial at a time. This is blood for rent.
So first up, meet Kael. In this world's super rigid hierarchy, he's what's called an omega. For Kael, that means his rare blood is basically a luxury good for the rich and powerful. So he's learned to make himself small, to be invisible, Because in his world, being seen means being consumed. Silence isn't just a choice, it's his only shield. It's survival.
Now, right away, Kyle is just caught between these two massive forces. On one side, you've got Dorian, this possessive alpha, who looks at Kyle and sees a prize to be owned. Then, on the other side, there's Lucian. He's the mute vampire prince, and he sees something nobody else bothers to: a person. One demands, the other just watches.
But then, everything just shifts, all because of this one simple act of empathy. Kael, seeing the prince, signs a simple greeting. And for Lucian, who's been isolated in his silence for years, this is huge. It's not just a gesture. It's someone finally acknowledging he even exists. And that right there, that's the first thread of a bond that's going to change everything.
But you know how these stories go, right? Just when Kael finds this tiny little flicker of connection, his whole world gets ripped apart. We've hit the story's first major turning point, the slave's wedding. A moment where his future is literally sold from under him.
And get this, these are the chilling words from his own brother, Elias. It is the ultimate betrayal. Kael finds out he hasn't just been rented out for his blood. His entire life has been traded away in some political scheme. He's being married off to the cruel and powerful Lord Thorn.
So you can see how the trap just snaps shut on him from every direction. His brother sells him. His new husband publicly humiliates him, calling him this offering. And Lucian, the one person who actually sees him, is bound by royal law. He can't do anything but watch. Kael is completely and utterly alone, a prisoner in fancy clothes. But even then, in this moment of just complete despair, there's this tiny spark. Across the hall, while Kael is being publicly erased, Lucian makes a silent promise. He signs, "I see you." It's a lifeline. It's a declaration that even if the whole world calls him an object, someone, somewhere, still knows who he is.
All right, so from this absolute low point, you'd think it couldn't get worse, right? Wrong. The story goes even deeper into the darkness. Kael is trapped, and the political games of the court are about to explode into a moment of total destruction and an impossible rebirth. It's time to burn the pages of his old life.
Remember that political instability we saw earlier? Well, it's about to come to a head. A big coronation is planned, but it's not a party. It's a thinly veiled coup, and the target is the one person who's shown Kael any kindness at all: Lucian. And then bam! The whole ceremony just erupts into chaos. An assassin strikes, making a move for the silent prince. The court is in a panic, and in that one split second, a choice has to be made. Kael doesn't even think. He just reacts, without a single thought for his own life, a life that's been nothing but pain anyway. He throws himself in front of Lucian. He takes the blade meant for the prince, repaying that one act of recognition with the ultimate sacrifice. But this isn't the end, not even close. In the void, Kael is given a choice: go back and rewrite the story. He accepts. But of course, there's a catch. He wakes up, not in his own broken body, but in the body of the man who sold him out, his own brother, Elias. Okay, and this is where the story just catches fire. Staring at his betrayer's face in the mirror, Kael isn't defeated. He's determined. This new body isn't a curse. It's a disguise. It's a weapon. He decides he won't just live in this body, he will wear him like a suit of armor. So now Kael has all this power, but he's stuck behind enemy lines, right? behind his enemy's face. He has to learn how to wield this new identity as a weapon, all while seeking justice for the prince who signed.
And you know what? He is absolutely ruthless about it. He doesn't just pretend to be his brother. He systematically dismantles Elias's entire life from the inside out. He studies his journals, learns his alliances, then he strikes right at the heart of the system that exploited him, shutting down the blood trade. He even gets his revenge on his old tormentor, Dorian, forcing him to kneel. But the most important step, reconnecting with Lucien.
But wait, how could Lucien possibly know it's him? I mean, he looks completely different. It's because their connection was never about faces or voices. It was forged in silence. Through a secret message, Lucien proves he sees right past the disguise. He recognizes Kael's soul, not his skin. And just like that, Kael isn't alone anymore. So now he's got this new identity. He's got a powerful ally. Kael isn't just looking for personal revenge anymore. He's going after the whole system. He's ready to rewrite the rules.
Using his brother's political power, Kael proposes 3, totally radical new laws. And each one is a direct attack on the very foundation of their cruel society. He's not just trying to save himself. He's trying to make sure no one ever has to suffer the way he did. This isn't just a proposal. It's a declaration of war.
And of course, the system pushes back, hard. They put Elias on trial for treason. The plan is to expose him as a fraud, execute him, and crush this revolution before it even starts. It's their last, desperate attempt to erase him for good.
So, at the trial, just as the court is about to dismiss him, Lucien steps forward. He stands before all the nobles who've ignored him his whole life and makes this incredibly powerful statement with his hands. He's mute, yes, but he is not voiceless, and he's about to speak for Kael in the only language they both truly trust.
And then, the moment that just shatters everything. For the first time in the story, Lucien speaks. Aloud. And the words are a shockwave. Not just because he's been silent for years, but because of their absolute power. With just 2 words, he validates Kalen's entire existence, confirms his identity, and completely destroys the court's entire case. He breaks his own silence to make sure Kalen's truth is heard. And really, that's what this whole story boils down to, leaving us with this incredible question. It makes you think, doesn't it? That maybe true power isn't always in the words you say out loud, but in being seen, in being understood, and in a silence that's shared, defiant, and finally heard.